Yeah, today I want to talk about how having a full life now, or at least aspiring to have a full life, a full balanced life, makes it very difficult for me to be completely obsessed with just one singular thing. And I think I'm finally at a place where I'm okay with that. So if you are one of those people who feels a little bit like you can't quite realize that one obsession, you're not really sure what it is and if you even will have one, then I just want to talk a little bit about how that's okay. And also how, in a strange way, we can become obsessed with living a balanced life. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. So I'm really one of those people. I've never had one clear passion. I've always been interested in a lot of things creatively, but I do suffer with a lot of obsessive thoughts. I'm in recovery from drugs and alcohol, as I've touched on before, and will continue to do so. And when I came into recovery, what I was left with was this kind of uncertainty about what I was supposed to be doing with my life. What was the best option for me. And I've found over the last 5.5 years that even though I've tried to really lean into one thing, whether it's being a full-time visual artist who sells his artwork, or putting all of my energy into something else exclusively, it's never really seems to work. And I'm coming to this place now, as I mentioned, where actually aspiring for balance is really key to me. And it doesn't mean that we have to do everything equally on a balanced level. But for me, it does mean that I have to have sort of 5 or 6 different pillars always on the go at one time. Different plates that I'm always spinning at one time. I don't think at this stage now that I would want to have one thing that I do every day for 12 to 15 hours. I appreciate that there are a lot of people who speak on YouTube about this stuff who are extremely hyper fixated on one thing, and that's fine. But I think the people I'm trying to speak to and connect with are those who are really concerned with leading a fulfilling and balanced life, being in good health, physically, mentally and spiritually, being creatively fulfilled and satisfied, and also just getting on top of their own demons at the same time. Because interestingly, the people who are hyper-focused on only one thing in particular, necessarily it means that they're going to be underdeveloped in other areas, and I don't think it's unfair to say that. I think it just necessarily is how it is. There's only so many hours in a day. And I found, well, in my own experience, I found that finding this balance of creativity, home life, work life, spiritual life, recovery life, and growing, is really, really crucial. I think that where my attention goes, my energy flows. This is something that one of my friends says all the time, and I really, really like it. Where my attention goes, my energy flows. I think it's a great little quote, that. But really what I'm trying to get at with this video is that there is nothing wrong with, living a full life and being collectively obsessed with several different things. And there is a small distinction that I want to make, which is I do agree with a lot of the ways that hustle culture talk about filling time with stuff, but I don't agree with the idea that it should be just filled with one thing done on repeat until we reach a certain goal. That doesn't seem to be a good way to do things to me. And also, even if we are quote unquote working for 12 to 15 hours a day, I don't think that it should all feel like work. And work for me is a very loose term, which can mean, spending time with family is work, spending time with friends is work, relaxing is also a form of work. And I think that if we reconceptualize what actually this definition of, hard work is, then it helps a lot, because I'm the kind of person that beats myself up very easily for not doing things, obsessively and not smashing all my goals like instantaneously. But if I look at my routine now and what I actually get up to over the course of a day, I'm living a very full life, I'm waking up early and coming to work, doing some YouTube videos, doing a bit of painting, a bit of writing, computer jobs, and then I'm going home, I'm connecting with my family, connecting with my friends, connecting with other addicts in recovery, and then oftentimes in the evenings I'm spending time with people. I go to the gym, I exercise, I like to do things on the weekend, and so when we think about it that way, this is a full day, but it's not just obsessively doing one thing over and over again, which I've tried, and I don't think at this stage in my young life that it's going to work for me. It's okay not to be obsessed, I think that's the biggest message of the day. Life is hopefully long, and I'm in no rush to arrive at my destination. At times, I do feel rushed, and I impose that sense of urgency on myself, which is not great, that's the truth. But what I'm trying to do now is incorporate these ideas about balance and rest and letting things arrive in their own time. I'm trying to sit in those ideas and really absorb them properly. And a big thing for me at the moment is putting in the action with whatever it is that I want to do, but not trying to control the outcomes of that action. I have to leave the outcomes in someone or something else's hands, let's put it that way. In my experience, obsession is rarely healthy, as I touched on. There's always some kind of detriment that it leaves to people who are obsessed. In my own experience of obsessively using drugs and alcohol for many years, it left me completely broken in many ways, and I think that the same can be said for people who obsessively practice business for 15 hours a day. And it's not for me to try and change those people. I think everyone is entitled to do exactly what they want to do with the free time. But I'm not speaking to those people. I'm speaking to people who perhaps are a bit more like myself, find that they have a lot of interest that they want to nurture slowly over many years, and gradually that will help them to become a version of themselves that they're more comfortable with. And so to close, I'd say, maybe we as people who don't quite know what we're here for are not as scattered as we think we are. I spend a lot of time beating myself up with these ideas that I'm not working hard enough, that I'm not focused enough, that I'm not, achieving things at the incredible speed that I would like to. And if you feel a little bit like that yourself, then yeah, I'm making this video for us, really, myself included, because, it's about how we perceive things, isn't it? I could perceive my life as being scattered because I do a lot of different things. I have a lot of different areas of focus, and I'm still trying a lot of different things. Like even this YouTube channel is brand new, and for the moment I'm really, really enjoying making these long form videos. But who knows what tomorrow or next week or next month will bring. So yeah, if you're feeling scattered, perhaps it's the wrong word to be using, and perhaps we can just understand that we are living our lives fully. And it's okay not to know. It's okay to rest and pause, and it's okay to have balance. People say work-life balance, and people say if you want to be successful that you can't have a work-life balance, or you've got to have a bit of a skew towards your work. But I think if we're thinking about spiritual growth and not just financial growth, then for me, all of these things are spiritual work. Spending time with family, connecting with other people, helping other people, growing in my own ways, being creative. So it's just a nice reframe that I think is a really, really good one to use. So yeah, just to close, having a full life makes obsession hard. And maybe that's a good thing. Thank you.